The other day, I got an early phone call from a distressed client, and I thought I'd share this story with you because I think it will help many of you. So I picked up the phone and I heard Roy's voice saying, Dr. Shuck, I need you to look at my charts. My blood pressure is sky high all of a sudden for no reason. I haven't changed a thing. Now, I want you to know up front that Roy's the kind of guy that doesn't get distressed easily. He's a tough as nails rancher that castrates bulls for a living, so that should tell you something. So I took his call pretty seriously, but I already had a suspicion of the root cause. After calming him down, we started going over his past couple of days of food and breakfast in particular. He'd had eggs, sausage, and 3 cups of coffee. Oh, 3 cups. That was a bit of a record scratch. Now, don't click off this video yet. You need to hear the why and how coffee was impacting him because millions of you out there are suffering the same symptoms as Roy and don't even realize this is a big contributor. I can already see the comments now. Now, Dr. Shuck, I read that coffee is good for me. It has antioxidants, blah, blah, blah. Yeah, I know the research, and to say it is short sighted and not looking at everyone's unique bio individuality is a whole nother can of worms I'm not delving into now. But what I want to do is give you a little science talk about what caffeine is and how your blood actually moves through your body and how it impacts that. But before I talk about how this impacted his blood pressure, we've got to talk about blood sugar. Too much glucose in the blood starts a process called glycation, which basically means sugar starts gluing itself onto proteins and tissues, including your red blood cells. Now, this matters because your red blood cells are oxygen delivery vehicles. They're supposed to be soft, flexible, and most importantly, bendable because eventually these red blood cells leave the major highways and enter these tiny little capillaries. And like I said, these capillaries are small. Your red blood cells literally have to bend and squeeze through them single file to deliver oxygen to certain parts of your body, like your brain and your nerves, your heart, your feet. You get the idea. But when sugar starts sticking to those cells, they become stiff, sticky, and rigid. I want you to imagine trying to crawl through a narrow cave passage wearing a giant rigid backpack. That's basically what glycated red blood cells are trying to do. And now oxygen delivery starts breaking down. And that's where we begin seeing issues like fatigue, nerve issues, microcirculation issues, slow healing, and blood pressure problems. And then you unknowingly make it worse. Well, how do you unknowingly make it worse? Massive caffeine intake. Because I know this is unpopular, but caffeine constricts blood vessels. It is a known vasoconstrictor. So now you have less flexible blood vessels trying to move through narrower vessels. That's a double hit. And this is exactly what happened with Roy. And if you want even more in the weeds details, I have a book coming out very soon that will help explain this in depth. But what I want you guys to know is now his situation isn't a fairy tale, and Roy didn't magically quit drinking his coffee overnight, but he did cut it to 1 cup. And guess what? His blood pressure went down and has stayed down. So sometimes it isn't magic, it's moderation. For more helpful stories like this, like and subscribe.